Gohan versus Cell. Every Z fighter on the field fired everything they had at Cell. Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, everyone blasting simultaneously, trying to tip the scales while Gohan's Kamehameha pushed back against Cell's. It was one of Dragon Ball's most emotional moments. A team holding the line for their fallen friend. That's the anime. And it's beautiful. In the manga, nobody moved. Everything happened so fast that none of them could react in time. Nobody fired, nobody helped, except one person. Vegeta, the same man who let Cell absorb Android 18 out of pride, the same man whose arrogance cost Gohan his arm earlier in the fight. Vegeta was the only one brave enough and smart enough to fire a blast that distracted Cell for one critical second. That wasn't a group moment in the manga. That was Vegeta's redemption, quiet, unannounced, and more meaningful than anything the anime gave him in that entire saga. Goku and Gohan's training. The anime gave you everything. Weeks of original episodes showing Goku and Gohan inside the hyperbolic time chamber, their struggles, their conversations. The moment Gohan first achieves Super Saiyan, Goku teaching his son to make the form feel normal. Some of Dragon Ball's most intimate father and son scenes exist only because the anime had time to fill. The manga skipped almost all of it. They went in, they came out. 1 year of training condensed into a handful of panels. No conversations, no breakthrough moment shown on page. Gohan emerged as a mastered Super Saiyan, and the manga moved on immediately. Two completely different relationships between Goku and Gohan, depending on which version you watched. The anime built something that didn't exist in the source material, and for a lot of fans, it's the version they consider real. Gohan versus Kefla. In the anime, Kefla was Goku's problem. She fused, went berserk, overwhelmed everyone, and Goku eliminated her in Ultra Instinct Sign in one of the most visually spectacular moments of the Tournament of Power. Gohan barely factored into it. The manga told a completely different story. Gohan stepped up and fought Kefla directly. A full engagement between Universe 7's second strongest fighter and Universe 6's emergency fusion. It didn't end with a clean elimination. Both of them threw each other out of the arena at the same time. Simultaneous elimination. Nobody won. Two versions of the same tournament. One made Goku the answer to every problem. The other let Gohan prove he belonged in the conversation, then took the clean ending away from both of them. Jiren's defeat. The anime made it cinematic. Goku and Frieza, enemies for decades, standing side by side against the strongest fighter in all universes. A dramatic combined assault. Two rivals choosing the same target at the same time. All three fell together. The manga made it a strategy. Frieza didn't wait for a cinematic moment. While Goku held Jiren in place, physically locking him down, Frieza fired an energy blast as a distraction, then rammed directly into Jiren's body. No speech, no dramatic pause, just a calculated move executed while everyone else was still fighting. All three fell. Android 17, who had been hiding and conserving energy deliberately the entire tournament, was the last one standing. The anime version was about heart. The manga version was about a plan that was running the entire time nobody noticed. Same winner. Completely different reason he won. Roshi versus Jiren. The moment doesn't exist in the source material. No old master touching the ceiling of divine power with pure technique. No reminder that Dragon Ball started as a martial arts story before it became a power-scaling competition. Master Roshi, an old man with no god power, no transformation, no divine training, stood in front of Jiren and held his own. For a brief moment, the greatest martial arts master alive reminded everyone that technique existed before power levels did. It was one of the most surprising and beloved moments of the entire Tournament of Power. Roshi never faced Jiren. The moment doesn't exist in the source material. Vegeta versus Toppo. In the anime, Vegeta's fight against Toppo was the moment that defined his entire arc in Dragon Ball Super. Top unlocked Destroyer Energy. Vegeta responded by charging his final God Explosion, a version of the same technique that killed him against Buu, except this time he survived it. His last thought before releasing everything was of his family. He won, he lived, he proved he'd grown. The manga erased the entire moment. Toppo was eliminated differently. Vegeta's sacrifice never happened. One of the most important character beats in Vegeta's modern story, the moment he showed he could sacrifice himself and survive it, doesn't exist in the version of Dragon Ball closest to Toriyama. Two versions of Vegeta's growth. One of them never got to prove anything. Goku unlocking Ultra Instinct. The anime made it an accident born from catastrophe. The spirit bomb collapsed on top of Goku. Everyone watching thought he was dead. Silver hair emerged from the explosion, and the entire arena went silent. Ultra Instinct Sign appeared because Goku was pushed so far past every limit that his body had no choice. One explosive moment. One transformation born from near death. The manga took its time. No single explosion triggered it. Ultra Instinct Sign developed gradually across multiple exchanges with Jiren. Goku's body slowly learning to respond faster than his mind could process, building incrementally until the technique stabilized. Same transformation, completely different meaning behind it. The anime said Ultra Instinct is what happens when you have nothing left. The manga said it's what happens when you've been pushed long enough that your body figures it out on its own. Both are right. They just tell completely different stories about how the greatest technique in Dragon Ball was born. Android 17's survival. In the anime, Android 17 self-destructed to protect everyone from Jiren's attack. The explosion was enormous. Then he showed up alive at the end with almost no explanation. The anime never addressed how he survived his own internal bomb going off at full power. The manga closed that hole before it opened. One specific detail was added. After the Cell games when the Dragon Balls were used, Krillin made a wish to remove the self-destruct bombs from Android 17 and 18. So in the manga version, 17 physically could not self-destruct. The bomb wasn't there anymore, which means what looked like a plot hole in the anime was actually a consequence of something that happened years earlier that the anime forgot to connect. Same scene. One version left a gap. The other version had quietly explained it years in advance, and most people never noticed.